couple of months ago, I mentioned one non-negotiable for men, for guys, is working out. And recently, because of my own experience and because of talking to some younglings, some bros, some peers, I recognized the need to also share another one, which is quitting porn. Quitting porn, staying away from it, cutting that shit out. Okay? In general, what this at the base of this is conquering your lust. But because porn is so accessible, it usually manifests itself this way first. And its ripple effects, and it does have ripple effects. Its ripple effects usually come out very imperceptibly. It has gradual effects, gradual changes. And this is on your mind, your spirit, and then typically at the end of the day, also your body. So if you're watching this, it's because you have some sort of curiosity to reaffirm perhaps your position to stay away, and or you're looking for a little bit of convincing to get away from this, to stay away from it, to cut it. Take everything I say with a grain of salt, use what works for you, but it's not exactly going to be a pragmatic step-by-step approach. I'm just going to give you my general meta approach to this, my own little flavor of experience on this subject. And depending on how things go, maybe I'll come back at it with a more particular approach. So, 29 now, and looking back, I'm recognizing I wasted so many seasons, pissed it away because of it. Okay, and that's what you're typically doing. Like for me, your sexual desire, your sexual energy, it is like the life vitality. What you carry in your balls, bro, that stuff is your life force. As men, that is the majority of what makes us, us. It gives us our unique expression, our unique flora, our unique aura. It literally gives us that oomph to who we are. And to just waste it away on porn, I can tell you right now, man, you are giving way to your lower animalistic instincts. This is an unsophisticated way of dealing with your libido, of dealing with your sexual desire. Christ mentions in the Bible that to look at a woman with lustful eyes, it is better to gouge out your eyes than to do that. Okay, now he doesn't really give us a step-by-step approach on what to do thereof after, but for most of us, what we naturally do, and what I find is usually best to do, is rechannel that energy. Okay, rechannel it into your work, into your career, into trying to be successful at something. For me, it's the arts, it's drawing, it's making music. Because particularly for me, it's hard to bring that energy to my job. It's a job. It's all it is to me. It's just a job. It's hard to bring that drive and motivation there. But hey, for some jobs, it's probably worth it for you. Nonetheless, when it comes to my own work, that's where I find that propelling energy. That's where I find it best to redirect, transmutate my sexual desire and my sexual energy, my libido, my base instinct that its crude form to me is lust, but in general, the libido, into whatever it is I want to create. The reason for doing so, for me particularly, is because it is a lower, unsophisticated way of looking at things. And it's a degenerate way of dealing with your sexual energy, which is a majority of you as men, as it's a majority of me. Okay, when you think about it, And I do want to mention that I know it's easier said than done. All right, beating this as an addiction is easier said than done. Sometimes it takes a while, and other times it takes all at once, everything you have. But it is never ending. It's always something you have to be vigilant of, stay vigilant of. But you can get better at it. So I just want to mention that real quick because addictions are hard to beat, and I do think this is an addiction. No matter how normalized culture and society tries to make it, no matter how normalized it is, it's an addiction. And one way or another, most of us typically make drastic changes when we have to. When a brick hits us on the head, when we run into a brick wall, when we get blindsided. And if you're hearing me out, you do not need to wait for that. All right. Recently, having gone monk mode, especially having given this sort of behavior up for a good amount of time now, I think it's about like 6-7 months now. In general, I wasn't on it every day, but like just recognizing this is it, like absolutely for good. I walk around like a fucking aristocrat, bro. I walk around like I'm goddamn nobility. I walk around folding my clothes, bro, doing laundry, and I feel oh so princely. And I'm telling you, you can have that sort of swagger, that aura to you, and embody that, and then also experience it as you're moving and channeling it. I don't even need anything anymore. That to me, it was an interesting discovery to recognize I don't feel any need for nicotine, for vaping. I don't even need my antidepressants. I don't even need Adderall. I don't need shit. It was always within me. It's a yoga. It is a oriental practice, and it takes practice. I don't know what your why is, and that is to me one of the hardest things. But it's tough to explain that particular experience. Because for me, it's so worth it. Everything is more colorful. Everything is more vibrant. Life is richer than it was when I was engaging in those debased, degenerate acts of porn. And there's no, the change is different. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. The way men look at a woman and you see, oh, damn, ass, tits, ooh, damn, the things I do to her, right? Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And then when you've leveled up in this direction, you recognize that is just, it's honestly disgusting. And no matter how many people try to normalize it, oh, boys will be boys, girls will be girls type of thing, right? Like there is some truth to that. That's why it's old saying. But for me to experience seeing a woman in her beauty, in her subtleties, in her aura, her feminine energy, to experience that and recognize, God, she's beautiful. She's so graceful. She looks majestic. I would wonder what it's like to make love to her as my wife. You know, that kind of sophistication, it's so much more well having than that shit you hear on trap rap. And to me, that is what porn eventually degenerates your mind into. It captures you in that point of view. It's toxic. It's a hard demon who invites other demons in. So I'm just pointing that out because particularly speaking, the reflex is to usually fill a void for guys. I think that's typically the thing. We fill a void from a lack of connection. We're trying to avoid, I think now in my own, where I am now, it's to avoid our own potential, which I know it's a cliche to say, which scares us more than to just stay status quo and stay stagnant. But the lack of connection, the lack of romantic connection, right? FOMO in other ways is usually how it starts. For me though, I had access to relationships, being in relationship back to back to back to back to back for the past like 8 years. It changes the way you see your partner. Okay? That's not to say I didn't have, unfortunately, promiscuous woman who I thought was worth something long term. But I mainly say that because like for a good amount of the woman, like a couple of them were absolutely of wifey caliber. But this sort of degenerate thing it warps your mind. You're not satisfied any longer with just this person. It warps the way you perceive them, the way you experience love, the way you experience connection, the way you experience socializing in general. And it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's a lower version of what should be, of what could be. I think this potential is in all us guys. It's in all of us guys. I'm finally starting to like recognize secular dating, modern dating. It has some place in our culture, but at the root of it, it's wrong. You have symphonies within you. I truly feel that way. You have symphonies, works of art, passions to create, to inspire others, to inspire all our brothers, sisters too. You have businesses to create. You have, I don't know what it is that we can conquer anymore, but for the most part, it's this. It is this for us guys, ain't it? It really is this. Like for modern life, it's sitting down right here. Fucking, you got your laptop, you're at your desk. This is modern life. And I remember being 23, 25 and feeling that like testosterone coursing through your veins, bro. I just want to conquer shit. The last thing I want to do is sit down here in the fucking desk or an office all day long. That's the last thing I want to do. But that's modern life now. That's modern life. So I think that in particular is also just one of the few reasons, one of the reasons why you have to learn to leverage the libido, leverage the sexual energy, to refine your way of being, to polish your soul, to polish the way you carry yourself, to spiritualize that sexual energy. Otherwise, I think there is a way in which it turns on you. If you don't do anything with it, it turns on you. And it also does turn you on, but it turns on you for the worst. It becomes more like a toxic thing. So you want to learn how to maneuver that shit. Okay? And get some mojo back. Yeah. All right? Pick up dancing. Pick up a hobby. Pick something up. It's got to go somewhere. It's got to go into something. Okay? Because even if you get good at maneuvering it through your body, as I feel like I have, even if you get good at it, as a guy, bro, as a guy, you're gonna have your moments. You can't always be doing something. You're gonna have your moments. And if you haven't worked your ass off at the gym, if you haven't tired your mind out, if you haven't really put all you can into any kind of work of art, you're gonna sit there and you're gonna have some free time and you're gonna have some excess energy, and lo and behold, you're gonna roll back a little by little, and eventually what gives way. But that's where I think truly in those moments where meditation and yoga in its like traditional form really, really comes into play. Okay, till next time.